it's Dr. Christy Ennis. I may not be a senior, although AARP keeps sending me things. Maybe they know something I don't know, but I do work with a lot of seniors on a day-to-day basis. And as we get older, some common things that tend to occur are balance getting a little worse, some postural changes, loss of strength, and loss of mobility. But the good news is those things can actually be worked on and changed, which is what we are going to work on today by doing 5 exercises every day to work on all of those systems. And even if you aren't a senior, sometimes those things I just mentioned happen too, so feel free at any age to follow along with these exercises today. For our first exercise, you need a sturdy wall or door. This one is sort of sturdy, so I'm not going to push real hard. But this is going to work on both posture and mobility. So you're going to get your back to that wall or door, making sure you're in a comfortable position, but trying to keep that mid-back right up against there. Arms are going to come out like goalposts, and you're going to try to rotate those forearms back towards the wall. Gently squeezing into those shoulder blades. You're going to raise those arms up as high as you can, trying to keep those those forearms in contact with that door or wall. That's about it for me, and don't hold your breath. And then you're going to squeeze again gently into those shoulder blades, bring those elbows back down, and oh, I got some lovely snapping and popping there. Think about as you're doing this also, gently try to tuck that chin back, just gently. And you're going to try for 5 to 10 repetitions of these. Now, if that is too much to start with, you can actually get down on your bed or on the ground, whichever is more comfortable for you, and do that same idea. It's almost like a little snow angel. You can add some leg movement if you really want. Just kidding. But you would do that same motion, arms up and down. All right, exercise 2 is actually a combo one of balance and posture and strength there. So I guess that's a 3 combo. So you do need a band for this one. I love these little loop bands, which I can link some below for you. You can always take a straight band and just tie it in a knot too, no problem there. But you're going to bring your elbows right in at your side. I'm going to go over the arm part first. Gently squeeze into those shoulder blades, and then keeping those elbows glued in at your side, you're going to pull those forearms open. So you're working the muscles in the back and opening the muscles in the chest a little bit. I'm just going to quickly turn to the side. So squeeze and pull. Awesome. Okay, now if you want to make it a little harder and add a little bit of balance work to this, you're going to do some funny things and fun things with your feet. The narrower your base of support is, the harder it will be. So if you're standing wide, that's going to be the easiest way to do this. Make it a little harder. You're going to bring those feet together, still, of course, with this upper body movement. A little harder than that is a staggered stance. So not heel toe yet, but weight shifted evenly on both feet. You're aiming for about 10 to 15 reps of this one also. So you would do a few on one side and then a few on the other. The next progression from that would be heel to toe. I'm clearly a little wobbly this morning, but again, same concept. When you're adding in some arm movement as well as trying to get that base narrower, it makes your trunk work even harder, which is also important. Making sure, of course, to switch and do both sides. And then lastly, the hardest one is single leg and adding that in. And I kind of lied. It's actually not the hardest one. Any of those closing the eyes is actually extra hard because eyesight is also part of our balance. So 10 to 15 reps in any of those positions. For our third exercise, you need a nice sturdy chair or stool, something that's not going to wobble on you. Now, this one is going to work on balance as well as all of those, well, not all, but a lot of different leg muscles. To make this easiest, you want to get to the edge of that chair, and you're actually going to lean forward slightly. Now, the easiest way to do this standing up is using handles on the chair if they have handles. So if you're really unsteady or unsure, it's okay to start there. Do think about trying to squeeze those butt muscles together and really use those legs as much as you can, but use those arms for guidance. You may need to also reach back for those arms before you sit down. All right, so that's kind of the easiest. Second level would be hands on those legs and pushing down on those legs to help you stand up a little as I fall backwards. Clearly, I need the arms of the chair today. And same idea. Remember what I said about vision and balance. So try not to turn around and look for that chair unless you feel like you may fall. Hardest one, right, is either arms here or just arms kind of dangling, still kind of that sit forward, squeezing and standing. And then I'm gonna show you one last little level to make it even harder. So going to that stand up, and as you stand all the way up, squeezing those quads and then coming right up onto those toes, bringing those heels back down and sitting back down all the way again. And about 10 reps there if you can do that. Always, 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 if that's too much, just start with a few and that's okay too. Our next exercise is going to be lying on the side. Now I am on a mat, but if that's not comfortable for you to get down onto the floor, no problem, you can do this right in bed or have lots of comfy mats on the floor. So first things first is getting our position set in this side lying position. You want to make sure that you're all the way on your side, so put something underneath your hip if you need to for a little extra padding, and making sure you're all the way on that side. When I look down, if I know I'm in a straight line, I see my toes and a little bit of my feet. If I see a lot of my leg, it means I'm way too far forward. So just keep that in mind as you're setting up. Now this one is going to work those side hip muscles and mobility in the hip at the same time. Both of those things get worse and worse and worse as we get older and older. So we want to make sure that we really keep an eye on that. So I'm going to bend the bottom leg because it's more comfortable for me. Point my toes down just a touch to really activate the side butt here. Step one is lifting that leg. Once you have lifted that leg to about parallel, you're actually going to go and do a circle. So goal would be to try to get 5 to 10 circles going backwards. And you should feel these muscles work as well as that hip hopefully starting to open up. And then you're going to make sure you're going to want to make sure you go the other way too, right? That hip joint really does do all those movements in that circle because it's a ball and socket joint. Our last exercise can again be done on a mat or on the bed. This time you're lying on your back and we're really working in through those abdominal muscles. So getting that right position when we're starting. So you can do a couple pelvic tilts back and forth to find your comfortable position. And then as always, it's gently pulling that belly button in to engage in through those deeper abdominals. Now, the hardest level is what I'm going to start with here first. This is the dead bug, or renamed the struggling turtle. Keeping that position, legs come up and arms come up, and then it's opposite arm and leg. Middle stays nice and steady as the arms and legs move around it. Now, if that's too much, you feel like you're blooping out your belly or you're arching your back, you want to start with those legs on the ground. So same idea, you can straighten out one leg and use that opposite arm. But this is a little bit easier than doing both legs up. If that is still too much, there's absolutely nothing wrong with even just starting with that little march and then adding the arms in once you feel comfortable doing that. So there you have it, 5 exercises every day, and you should start feeling more mobile and stronger and even better balance.